Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Great Malabite Efeni.
Good morning, Ruben.
Morning.
Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Kayode.
Good morning.
Yes, we start the review with this day Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, Restrained by Courts. NLC, TUC Reach Tentative Agreement with federal government over subsidy to resume negotiations with government on June 19th. Establish joint committee to review proposal for wage increase. Establish framework. Timeline for implementation. To review World Bank cash transfer scheme, proposed inclusion of low-income earners in program. TUC demand 200,000 naira minimum wage, list 19-point demand. Yes, it is a relief. There's relief in the land because tomorrow there will be no strike, because no matter which side of the divide you are, whether you're in support of the strike or not, there will have been disruption of everybody's lifestyle if a nationwide strike were to happen tomorrow. But that has been averted, at least for now. The next time the committee will converge, June 19. Yes, Femi Gbajabiamila, he led the delegation of government, Speaker of the House of Representatives / Chief of Staff to the President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, he seemed to have a cognate experience. Recall that it was when Femi Gbajabiamila intervened in ASU strike, and somehow that strike came to an end. While government went to court, he was talking to them. Until date, many members of the Academic Staff Union of Nigeria believe that Femi Gbajabiamila deceived us back to work. But I hope that's not going to be the case this time around, because there are concrete proposals on the table which there has to be time frame from the point of labor to deal with some of these issues. But 200,000 naira as minimum wage, quite ambitious, but you know how these things go. That is the benchmark labor has put for now. There will be a tripartite committee of the federal government, state government representative, as well as the organized private sector. At the end of the day, they will settle for a figure. But certainly, I don't see how that 200,000 naira will be given straight away when state governments are still struggling to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage agreed the last time around. But we know that that's 30,000, even before this removal of petroleum subsidy, has been rendered ineffective by devaluation and inflation. Now, what will happen after that? But the most important thing is that, at least for now, we have this industrial peace, no nationwide strike. But the issues that we dealt with, how do you spend the $800 billion facilities from the World Bank meant to cushion the effect of subsidy removal? I'm sure you have a few things to say about that. But as for the regularity with which salaries should be reviewed, for now, I don't think we have one, but there was a bill that was proposed some time ago. Whether that bill passed through the National Assembly, left to be seen. That was proposing 5 years review, to review the salaries of workers every 5 years. But whatever is agreed upon at the end of the day, it has to be nationwide, because not the people who are not in government payroll are more than those. What about those who are not even in paid employment? How is the government going to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy? I think that should be the real challenge. Small businesses are going to be affected, and they are being affected because many of them run on generators, not that use petrol, not diesel. Now, other newspapers are also reporting this story. The Punch newspaper, Subsidy, NLC kicks as court stops strike, police warn hoodlums. The Guardian newspaper, Labour undeterred by court order. TUC demands 200,000 naira minimum wage. While the Daily Trust reporting that story, subsidy removal, Labour suspends strike. Now, these subnationals are already taking action to ameliorate the situation. Yes, the story, the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the story below the photograph, subsidy removal. Kwara government reduces work days to 3 for civil servants. Oyo constitutes salary review committee. Yes, Seyi Makinde, one step ahead, already thinking of how to increase the salary of Oyo workers. But reducing the work days for civil servants, well, will that be an ingenious way of reducing the impact of this fuel subsidy? Because, of course, transport fare is very key. If you reduce it from 5 days to 3, it will affect. But how does it affect work? Are you going to increase the number of hours workers will put in those 3 days? Now, other stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. First, 2023 poll. Court fines Keyamo 10 million naira for filing frivolous suit against Atiku. Yes, the courts, and Ruben, I think you need to shed some light. The judges are not taking, they are not taking prisoners. You don't just come with any kind of, because in recent times, parties have been fined for coming to court with some, and Festus Keyamo, senior advocate of Nigeria, been fined 10 million naira for filing frivolous suit against Atiku. You remember that suit seeking to disqualify Atiku, as it were. But he said he's going to challenge that in the appellate court. Now, beside that story, National Assembly, 10th National Assembly, court stops EFCC, ICPC, DSS from detaining ex-governor Yari. Yes, Governor Yari, former Governor Yari, is very much interested in becoming the next Senate president and is pulling no stops to get his ambition through, to the extent that even within the ranks of the APC, nothing seems to be certain as to who gets what when it comes to the zoning which the party has done, because Yari and a number of other persons are very active in pursuing their ambition away from what the APC has proposed as its zoning formula. Now, if we look at the Vanguard newspaper, the story below the photograph there, Atiku versus Tinubu, I signed Nasarawa result under duress, witness tell court. Of course, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal still on, and that's one of the reports coming from the tribunal. The Nation newspaper, Uzodinma, APC governor supporting Abbas Kalu, Akpabio, Wike, Umai visit Aso Villa. Yes, Nyesom Wike always saying in the company of either Seyi Makinde or Dave Umai, 2 men who have been pleading his cause that he worked for the APC. So his second visit to Asiwaju was up for him. Is he part of the APC right now? But he has not jumped ship. In fact, he was the one who went to court to get an order which has since been revoked, that the PDP should not suspend or expel him. But will he go to the APC? Left to be seen. But he gave an update, explanation on his statement once, describing the APC as cancer and PDP as malaria. And recently, in an interview, Pidgin English, BBC, he said, well, malaria can kill you if you don't take care of malaria. Whereas cancer, if you get a specialist, can be treated and you survive. So whatever is setting the stage for, we'll see in the fullness of time. Now, the Business Day newspaper, airlines, $812 million trap fund, increased pressure on FX external reserve. Yes, already pressured external reserves and foreign exchange are expected to worsen with this amount, $812 million trapped in Nigeria Airlines funds, the highest in the world, according to this report. Ruben, Ayo, and Kayode.
We're missing Rufai, of
the
course.
the elder brother of Rufai.
Yes. I guess we have very little time, so there might not be a time to speak. But I will not comment on all of it. I'll let Ruben talk about the court case. But I will definitely recommend Ruben's back page story, Fuel Subsidy and the God of Jonathan. Is worth a read. It's something I've read bits of it. It's worth a read. It's definitely worth a read. Yes, Act 1, Scene 1.
Okay,
yes.
very quickly, thank you very much, Khaled. But about the ruling by Justice James Omotosho. Yeah, the learned judge said the matter brought by Festus Keyamo raised issues of local standing, and that it was a matter that was considered frivolous, vexatious, and abuse of court process. And the learned jurists are always very sensitive about when persons who are supposed to be officers in the temple of justice bring cases that they consider frivolous, vexatious. And one of the points that the learned jurists made is that, look, you don't give the investigating agencies an ultimatum. In this particular case, the judge was frowning at the fact that you gave ICPC and EFCC 72 hours ultimatum. The investigating agencies, they have their own discretionary powers. You can write petition and say, this is what I think, but they will act only on the basis of their discretion. And that it amounts to an abuse of office for you to dictate to either the EFCC or the ICPC. This is the gravamen, of the submission in this particular matter. And the other issue was also locus. Okay, you have a petition, and then you took up the matter yourself within 72 hours. So the Justice Omoto said, in his own reckoning, it looks like Keyamo was acting as an errand boy. So it's a matter that I think ordinary people, members of society, should take a look at so that other people can learn from some of the big issues there. I heard from you that Keyamo says that he will go, to a higher court on appeal. Well, it will be interesting to see what, a court of higher jurisdiction decides. Whether Atiku was guilty as charged of money laundering or corruption on the basis of hearsay. Because Keyamo was acting on the basis of evidence, information in the public domain provided by one Michael Achimugu. So it will look like a busybody act. That's basically what the court is saying in this matter. So all meddlesome busybodies should know that, there are certain principles. But when the matter goes on appeal, we'll see. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.